Cliff Richard, welcome to Derby.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
How does it feel to be here?
Fantastic. I haven't been to Derby for quite a while, but I'm on a whizzing tour of signing books at the moment. So I've done Manchester and I've done Reading, and I'm looking forward to Derby.
Derbyshire obviously has a little part in your heart, doesn't it? Tell us about the history there.
Well, I mean, it's history. I don't know about history, but I know that from the time I started touring, Derby was a venue that the Shadows and I always played. And as things got a little bigger, it got out of hand a little bit. So there's less venues for us to play. I used to like being able to tour. When the Shadows and I started, we'd play every little Boy Scout hut and anything that was available to have more than 100 people in it, we played. But as our popularity grew, obviously it became impossible to play smaller places. So now we tend to play Sheffield, Manchester, Birmingham, all around Derby. No, have I played Nottingham? Where there's arenas, you know?
But you're being celebrated. You've been celebrated in Ripley, where you played at the Regal.
Oh, well, that part of the history, yeah, of course. The first thing I ever did was come into the West End of London and play the Two Ice Coffee Bar. And although no one discovered me, I suppose he did. Harry Gratrix came from Derby, and he did discover me, but he only discovered me for his ballroom, which was a great start for me, because the band and I came up and we played at the ballroom in Ripley. And that was it, really. And I thought I went home again. And, of course, I got more money for that than I got for most things I'd ever done before.
That must have been incredible. Wasn't it there that they suggested your name?
It wasn't there. It was actually in London when Harry came down to the Two Eyes. I suppose he may have been looking for somebody, a new band or something to play in his ballroom. And when he saw me, and he said, "Okay, now, what do you call?" I said, "Well, we call the Shadows." He said, "No, what are you called? Because I want to put your name up in front of the booth. I want it to be Harry Webb and the Drifters." And I said, "Oh, no, we're the Drifters." He said, "Well, no, if you're coming to my place, we need the name." So I said, "Well, it can't be Harry Webb." And so we went away and we thought up the name. And Cliff Richard was the name I thought sounded good, and it sounded good with the Drifters, and that's how it. No.
The book itself, what page would you draw people's attention to?
I've no idea. Because how would I remember which page I'd said what on? But someone asked me to say, "What's the best part of the book?" I said, "Or everything between the two covers."
Is there a question, right, that you've never been asked by a journalist that you think, why don't they ask me that?
Oh, no, I don't think. Oh, do you know, but I have done so many interviews that I bet you there's nothing that I haven't been asked. And some of the things I've asked, they should be asking the Archbishop and the Pope.
What about this elusive number one for this decade? How do you feel about getting that?
Well, number ones all through the decades were pretty elusive. You don't have them every day of the week, and I wish you could have them every day of the week, because I would if I could. But I've always, where I'm lucky is that I've had a number one in the 5 decades that I've been singing so far. It would be nice to have a number one in the 2000s, but in a way, singles aren't as important anymore. I mean, for me, yeah, I'd like to say I've had a number one in the 2000s, but you can't sell singles anymore. No one buys singles anymore, really. So it doesn't have the same import. But if I could finish my days and say I had a number one in the 2000s, who is going to catch me? Nobody. I don't think anybody's going to catch me now. I mean, people don't buy singles, so I've got it. I've got the record forever.
What about this adoration? There are thousands of people out there screaming every time a door opens because they think you're going to go through it. Jayne is one of them. She's number one in the queue. What would you like to say to Jayne?
Well, first of all, Jayne.
Yeah.
Jayne, I'm always thrilled that people come. And if you're number one in the queue, you must have been waiting a long time. When did you queue up from?
Well, I won. It's because I'm an Asda colleague, so I won the best ticket.
Oh, you won the
ever.
best ticket?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. What did you have to do?
Just buy a raffle ticket.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It is.
Oh, well, but some people, where was I? Yeah, Manchester this morning. Some people had been queuing up from the night before.
Really?
Yeah, so you got lucky.
I did.
No, but even then, I still nevertheless find it very thrilling that fans and people are still interested in buying music that I make or books that I write. How can I ever get used to that other people might find me interesting? That's the thing it's a constant mystery to me.
Cliff Richard, thank you so much for your time.